Welcome to Hardback Life. It's time for stories, sass, and strong opinions. Let's turn the page. I'm Cassie.
And I'm Becca.
How's it going?
It took us a hot minute to get on here and record tonight.
Yeah, we've tried for 50 minutes to have started. It's been almost an hour.
We were supposed to start recording at 7:30. It is now 8:48.
This last time we recorded, we were together, and now we're not.
I know.
What about
It makes me sad. It's so much better in person. What I need is this to go viral and then us to get famous, and then we have like our own studio set up where we can sit in like cute chairs and decorate and shit.
How do we manifest this for ourselves? Let's make a vision board next time we're together of all the things we want for this.
Yes.
Because I don't know. I don't think you listen to And That's Why We Drink, but it's a true crime podcast. And I think it was Christine made a vision board, like one of their first few episodes, she started talking about it. And it was that they were going to play at like a certain theater or that they were going to get like a certain representation or something. And it worked out. Like they ended up blowing up and now that's what they do and everything. So I don't know. Maybe she was right. Maybe we need to vision board it up.
We're already talking about maybe living together. This is the thing is I eventually, like in whatever home that I have when I have space, I want to get one of those little sheds.
A she shed.
I want it to be a book shed.
Yes.
So if we live together, we can invest in a she shed, and then that can be where we record the podcast.
I agree. We can get a nice book one, and we can get like a studio one.
Oh my God. And they can be right next door to each other.
I was telling my two friends today that I was hanging out with about wanting to move back down, and my one friend listens to our podcast, so she knows like you and you by name and like everything. And she was like, how close will you be to Becca when you move back down? I said, funny thing is actually we've talked about possibly getting a house together for a little bit. And she was like, that's fun.
Was she sarcastic or was she being genuine?
No, I don't know, honestly. I don't think she'd be sarcastic. I don't think she was sarcastic.
I think that it's so interesting that I think millennials and like younger, it's a new generation of like people who are moving back in with their parents or like they're living with their friends. Like it's like little communes.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word, but
I don't know. Maybe we should just buy a plot of land and do a bunch of small tiny homes. And like you and Dylan can have a tiny home. Me and Andrew can have a tiny home. And then we can do like a tiny home that's a library / video game den.
That would be amazing.
I think we just figured that out for ourselves.
And it would be 10 times cheaper to get like a tiny home and just pop it up on the land.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'd own it.
Yeah, this is good. This is good content.
Keep it in our brains.
Pinned for later. Okay, what are you reading?
I just finished my first ARC book, so that's really exciting. It was an ice hockey book. It was a series. You know how when it revolves around a sports team, like each book's about a different player, so you don't necessarily have to read them all.
Yeah.
But it was one of those. And I think it was the 5th one of this author's. I enjoyed it. Hopefully by the time this comes out, I'll have my review up. So I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I know you were talking about putting your review up on Instagram.
Yeah, I had reached out I do it through Booksprout, and I had reached out with a couple questions. And she was like, if you want to send me the link, I'll like it and share it so that it gets more like attention as well. I think I'm going to wait till Monday because I don't know if she'll look over the weekend. And I have until the 30th to post it anyway, so it's not like I have to rush. You get to pick whatever book you want based on what they have available. I picked one that I think I must have been there for a while because, like I said, the date to review it by was the 30th, whereas some don't have review dates till like September. So depending on what kind of reader you are, like you can get them more advanced. I read it in less than 48 hours, so like I'm a pretty quick reader, so it didn't really matter what the date was for me for that.
Just gold star for you.
Yeah.
Just keep gloating about it.
I'll be me. So yeah.
I've accepted that I'm not going to read at your pace.
You also have a child and you're like doing a lot right now.
I really just need to be medicated for my ADHD.
I do think getting diagnosed with ADHD has really helped my reading. It's a game changer. Like I tell you all the time, I lose track of time. Like Andrew will be like, I'm going to bed. It's 2 a.m. And I'm like, what do you mean it's 2 a.m? I sat down at 9 o'clock.
That's insane.
Where did that time go?
Yeah, that's not my life.
No.
What are you going to read now that you're done reading the ARC?
I think I'm gonna do Dracula,
Mm.
which is our book club book. And then I'll probably move on to Onyx Storm. And I know I sound sad about it or like upset, but it's just because now I don't want it to end.
And it ends pretty wild. So you're just gonna be like angry
No, I've
because
heard a lot of mixed things about it.
I can't say it's where I thought it was gonna go,
I gotta
but
tell you, I know you already know this, but I sobbed at the end of Iron Flames. I had to put it down for a couple minutes before
I
finishing it. And then that last couple pages where that last thing is revealed
mm,
also got me because I can't see that working out at all. And I'm really upset about it.
I don't have comments.
What are you reading?
I am in a slump.
We're saying that. That's so sad.
I know, I'm sad about it. Yeah, I'm in a slump, but I am like almost 10% of the way through House of Flame and Shadow. I've been slumping with that one. I think
Ugh,
I've just
that
been
like hurts because that one I could not put down.
I think that it's just my life right now. I don't think it has
I get
anything to
that.
do with the content of the books. I think I'm just like very busy right now. I'm like almost 10% of the way in. And I just started Dracula last night. I can't say that I'm super enthused about the writing style. I'm really interested in the story,
It's all
but the writing style is very old. And I'm like,
yeah.
wait, what did I just read? So it's going to take me a minute to adjust to it, but I really do want to read it. I think it's important to read classics.
Oh, you know me, so I'm not
I
even gonna go there. But I did read Dracula in high school, and I remember that being like a harder point for me. I liked Dracula. I do remember liking Frankenstein more though.
see, I want to try Frankenstein.
I remember really enjoying Frankenstein much more than Dracula. And
Okay,
I didn't, like I said, I didn't hate Dracula, but I really liked Frankenstein.
we should reread Frankenstein together. That would be a fun
Yeah.
classic to do together. Okay, so A Court is Cruel and Lovely.
The book club book.
Yes, this was a book club book.
Becca loved it, guys. She loved it.
I really liked the plot.
It was interesting. Yeah.
It had me hooked. Like the plot had me hooked. And then the smut happened.
Yeah. I think Grace and I were really the only ones who, like, I think genuinely, I think enjoyed us pushing it, but liked. Like, I've read the rest of the series.
Which is like literally insane to me.
The last book was hard. I think the first 3 got 4s, and the last one got a 3 or a 2. The last one was upsetting. Not in
So
like a stop, like in a fourth wing way upsetting, like in a bad. Like it wasn't great.
yeah,
Upsetting.
so this is the thing, and this is a spoiler warning. So if you're listening to this and for whatever reason, like you want to read this book,
For
don't
whatever
listen
reason.
to the next, I would say, I don't know, 2 minutes. Just like skip ahead a few like seconds. But it just doesn't make sense to me that we have to go through the whole process of, oh my God, he's the worst person ever at the end of the first book because you find out that he's like some Fey lord or whatever. And then he dies at one point and she brings him back from the dead and then they end up together. It just seems excessive and it didn't need to be what, 5 books? 4?
Or
4.
no, I agree. I think it all probably could have been done in 2. I think it could have been a duology. Like a very well done duology, not rushing it.
But
'Cause I
without
do
smut.
think-
No smut.
Yeah.
Without
So
the smut.
let's touch on that's today's overarching like theme is we're using this book as an example of kind of poorly placed and poorly executed smut in books.
And also just to open the discussion of smut in books in general, because I feel like that it's really taken,
It's like a huge thing right now.
it swarmed the internet.
It did.
And so I feel like that there's a reason that it's
Mhm.
doing that. Yeah, so this is going to be good. But before we get into the smut, do you want to read the synopsis or should I?
I can read it.
Okay, hit it.
So, a court this cruel and lovely, where ice queens cry and fey men smolder.
Hmm.
Priska is just a normal village girl. If by normal you mean secretly magical in a kingdom that executes people for being magical. She's trying to lay low, keep her magic on the DL, and survive. But one tearful breakdown later, she accidentally freezes time. Whoops. Now she's public enemy number 1 with a ticket to Beheadedville. Enter Lorien, a mysterious fey mercenary with the personality of a thundercloud and abs like he was carved by divine sadness. He saves her, kind of, then ditches her, then broods in her general direction. Classic fantasy love interest behavior. Priska ends up joining his ragtag crew of charming misfits on a mission full of secrets, betrayal, forced proximity, and enough romantic tension to power a small nation. Along the way, she uncovers family secrets, ancient powers, political conspiracies, and the growing realization that her taste in men is very much emotionally damaged with wings. Her and I have that in common, so. Yeah. There's magic, mayhem, morally questionable choices, and at least one scene where someone gets stabbed while making eye contact and talking about feelings. I actually don't remember that scene.
I don't either. It's been a hot minute since we read this. So the first discussion point is a book, especially fantasy, does not need to have smut to be good. And I could not agree more. And the example that I would like to use, even though we had some conversations about our feelings about this series and not living up to certain expectations, but
Oh.
Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass gave me everything that ACOTAR gave me, but without the smut. And I liked that because I got more war and I got more monsters and I got more magic. Throne of Glass had a little bit, like I think 1 or 2 spicy scenes out of 8
Yeah.
books. I don't think that fantasy books especially need smut to be good. When done appropriately, I think that it enhances the book.
And I was going to say, that doesn't take the romance out of it necessarily. I love a good romantasy, but you don't need smut. They can still have a very strong connection. They could still love each other, but they don't have to, you don't have to put smut in for the sake of putting smut in.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that this is the perfect example, like this book is the perfect example of
Mhm.
that because smut is so big right now that
Yeah.
it almost feels like every fantasy now has smut.
Has it.
And I think there are some fantasy books that it doesn't need to be a thing.
I agree. I just think too, I don't know, like I really like ACOTAR smut. I feel like it was placed well, it was used correctly, and it was done well. That's the other thing is like we're overusing it, but we're also not like it's not being done super great. You know what I
No.
mean? I'm
It's
like more cringing during some of these than what I
yeah,
think the author wants.
I know we normally do quotes at the end, but let me just reiterate this.
That's one memorized, guys, don't worry.
I do. The quote is, "You're big." He just smiled against my lips. You can take me. Again, I'm pretty sure I said this in another episode when this came up. No woman
Mhm.
in the history of womanhood is looking at her man in the bedroom and saying, "You're big."
It's just like awkward. Like I get they needed to show this connection because of something that ends up happening in the book. But it almost hinders their relationship because they aren't awkward. There's like a lot of really good tension, but also you can tell that they have feelings for each other. And then the smut is almost awkward.
Well,
You know what I mean?
also, it's so interesting that you say that because part of my qualm with this is that I don't feel like that we got enough of the like romantic, deeper relationship through their internal dialogue. And so by
Mhm.
the time we got to the smut, it was like, wait, what? You're talking about his ass? Hold on. And
Yeah.
then, oh, wait, you think she's hot? You're fantasizing about her? Hold up. Roll back the tapes.
Yeah. See, where I found the relationship building was the between the words. Yeah, maybe they didn't outwardly say it, but the way they were talking. I don't know if that makes sense.
I don't think it makes sense because it wasn't there.
It was there for me. Also,
I
I
know.
just want everybody to get together. So I just root for everybody.
You're a hopeless romantic.
I am.
So yeah, this is the perfect book to say
Mhm.
that the book had a good plot. It was well paced. It was quick paced, actually. That's part of the reason why I liked it so much because I just flew through it. But the smut wasn't needed. It didn't like you've said multiple times, it needs to drive the plot, and that just wasn't the case for this one.
I agree.
So the 2 main characters, let's give a little context.
Yeah.
So the 2 main characters are Priska and Lorien. Priska is the main character, and she's the one that has these powers in a world that does not want her to have these powers.
Stops time.
How did you feel about her in general? Did you think she was a good protagonist?
Yeah. I found her compelling enough. Her story is, I think, like her background when she really got into that part of the book was really interesting. And what her character went through before we even met her, I do find super interesting.
Yeah, like, I feel like that she was interesting. Like, I
Mhm.
wouldn't have read the book if
Yeah.
it wasn't interesting because I am a DNF queen.
I
So
know you are.
if I didn't really like it for some element, and part of it was I did enjoy her. Like,
Yeah, I thought she was a good protagonist for sure.
I do too. She did a lot of things. Like, she stuck up for people and other characters in the book, and she's the whole character arc of running away from her family and
Mhm,
grouping with these like mercenary men who Lorien
mhm.
is one of. And I liked all of that. That was very intriguing to me.
And I think too, like, what I liked about her, though she doubted herself, still knew she had skills to keep herself safe and keep herself going.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't this hopeless, I'm gonna die in the woods kind of person. I'm gonna keep going and I'll figure it out as I go. I can't stop, pretty much. And I like that.
She persevered,
Yeah.
which I appreciated. And then she met Lorien.
Right.
So okay, listen. He is part of the problem in this book. He is just a
I
grumpy
like a grump.
man.
I like a grump.
I don't, because one minute you get grumpy and the next minute I totally want to bang you against a headboard. And you're like, what the fuck is
I like
happening?
a grump because I like when they only show certain sides of themselves to, like, their one person. Like
That's
Xaden.
if you ever again compare anyone in this book to Xaden
It's
Ryerson,
not that I'm comparing them, I'm saying, like, I like
I
that.
will end this friendship. You thought I was going to say the podcast, the friendship. That's how precious Xaden Ryerson is
No,
to
no,
me.
I'm not comparing them, I'm saying that's the dynamic that I like, where they hate everybody but their person. You know what I mean? I no, Lorien and Xaden are very different, the books are very different, I'm not comparing the 2 of them. I'm just saying that's my favorite dynamic is, like, the grumpy and the happy.
Like, Xaden is morally gray. Orion is emotionally unavailable. There's a difference for me. And there was nothing slow burn about this romance, I feel like. It just was like nothing until it was, I want to fuck you. And I
See,
know you disagree with me.
I do, and I don't disagree on the fact that the smut was unnecessary, like, I do agree with that, but I disagree with the fact that I do feel like, you got their relationship outside of that more.
No. I'm going to need you to go through and I'm going to need you to find like direct quotes that made you feel that way.
I'll have to.
Okay. So this is a great topic because we actually talked about this on the way home from North Carolina in the car that we wanted to address this as like a whole episode. But how many red flags can a Fae Prince wave before we stop calling it romantic?
Literally too many for me. Too many. Let's think about what it took for me to hate Tamlin.
You and every female out there. And so I
I
think
know.
like Tamlin is a perfect example of the little bit of lack of faith I have in the female race.
I'm part of the problem here.
But like I was too.
Yeah.
Although it wouldn't be the female race, it would be the female gender. Wait,
Yep, you're right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
They can have a lot of red flags for me. Because here's the thing, but also no, because Reese, I think, has too many red flags. Like, I liked him in Mist and Fury, but then after that, too many. He's, like, really controlling. He's really cocky.
I really didn't like him in Silver Flames.
This is not about Silver Flames, but I really did not like his whole storyline, pretty much, in that one.
No, I didn't either. But Lorien had way too many red flags for me, and Grumpy being one of them. And I
I'm, like,
just
ashamed to say that he didn't have that many for me.
wait, I need you to reflect back because Tamlin's such a good example from ACOTAR. Did
Mhm.
you see the red flags and you just chose to ignore them because he was like the first love interest introduced? Or did you just not see the red flags at all with Tamlin?
I think I don't know. Because I remember loving him, like, so quickly, like, before they even made it to Printheon.
I think that both of us need to go back and do a reread of ACOTAR.
Until the 6th one comes out, and then I want to.
Okay, I'm going to reread the first one. I don't want to reread any of the other ones, but I want to
Mhm.
reread specifically the first one because of my qualms with it when I first read it, because it was like my first time reading fantasy. But I want to reread it again because I want to go through and I want to find the red flags that Tamlin gives off.
Yeah, see, like, for me, his red flags were, like, the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, so, like, they were endearing red flags.
No, Tamlin, no. Nothing about Tamlin was endearing.
In the first book,
No.
you liked him too.
I liked
Not as
him.
much as me, but
I liked him for 5 seconds. I did. But I
I know
figured
you
it
even
out.
told me, like, when I started reading and I liked him right away, you said even before the book ended, you weren't a fan of him.
No.
Looking back, where I think I ignored the red flags was Under the Mountain.
Oh,
Like, I took a lot of what he was doing there to keep her safe, but, like, Reese was willing to risk himself the whole time, you know what I mean?
Tamlin was being a narcissist under the mountain.
Yeah.
He was protecting himself. He was not protecting Feyre. And
I know that now, but I just ignored it all. Even though I knew Reese was gonna I knew he was coming back.
yeah. Anyway, so many red flags. But yeah, I think that, and that's like a conversation because I think that we do glorify red flags. I think like overall in literature, I'm not going to sit here and say that literally my whole dating history before my husband was like red flag after red flag. Specifically, I'm referencing like the fraternity boys that I
Yeah.
had relationships with in college. I'm not referencing like my serious relationships from the past, but
Yeah.
specifically the fraternity boys. But I get why the red flag man appeals to the general pop of women because
You can change him too. You think he's gonna get better for you.
it's not even that I think I can change them. It's that if they give me one sliver of you're a
Gonna
good
hold on to it.
person, then I hold on to that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you're in there, but you just
Mhm.
don't want people to know.
Yeah, the guy I can't even call it dating, but hung out with on and off before meeting Andrew was like a walking red flag, and everybody in my family called it out.
What to you defines smut in a book?
That's such a good question because I feel like it's like how people define hooking up. Did you go all the way? Did you just make out? I feel like it's the same thing. Like, I wouldn't consider like making out smut necessarily. You know what I mean? I think it's got to be like a whole thing.
There's got to be like touching.
Yeah.
It can't just be like kissing and making out.
Mm-mm. No, I wouldn't consider that smut.
Okay, so like things that you're doing behind closed doors. Where's the line for you on romance versus erotic scenes, full on sex?
I think any of it can be considered romance as long as it's done well. That's like where I vary with it. It's not romance if it's not done well. I would not consider Accord This Cruel and Lovely romance because I don't think, or those scenes specifically, because I don't think it was done correctly.
For me, romance makes me think of like longing or that like really intense like lust where you get the internal dialogue of the buildup of a
Yeah.
relationship. If it's
Mhm.
just like sudden out of nowhere, like that's not romance to me.
Yeah. To be fair, like to myself, this is something I've usually am super uncomfortable to even talk about. So I guess I really haven't thought much about it either of like where each line would be type of thing.
Cassie's a prude.
I love it.
And I think it's so funny that you read these books avidly and then you agree to this episode.
I know. I am as we're talking about it, like right now when I call myself out, I'm like, fuck, why am I doing this?
I would have called you out at some point.
The thing is, though, Haunting Adeline was like my first. So now everything else is like real tame compared to that.
So this is the thing. Haunting Adeline is a different category. We're
It really is.
we're inserting weapons places,
Yeah.
okay? That is a whole different like level of that's not even smut.
No.
That's
But that was
torture.
the first my first smutty book that I read.
I forget that was the very first one that you read because you even read that before you read Akatar.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did I read that before? Oh, to be fair, did I read that before Bridgerton or during?
I think you read it after we finished Bridgerton, but like
Okay, so I guess
Bridgerton,
technically Bridgerton had some moments, but not like crazy.
yeah, not crazy.
But once you read Haunting Adeline, everything else seems like PG.
Correct. Haunting Adeline is not for the faint of heart. That one requires some insane trigger warnings.
Yeah. I read just the description to my sister and mother-in-law, and they were like, Cassie, what I was like, "I don't know, it was pretty good." And they're like, "How did you of all people," that was the question, "How did you of all people get through a book like that?"
If so this is the thing. I am not at all embarrassed to have my husband, like, read what I'm reading. Like, I will sometimes read it out loud. But if he were to, like, pick up Haunting Adeline and read some of the stuff in that book, I'm pretty sure he would question me. Like, that I think would be a book where I'd be like, "I really don't have a defense for myself."
Yeah. You're right to judge me based on that one, I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
So then why do you think that smut has become so mainstream? Especially, like, that kind of smut, because that is, like, the really dark and, like, almost, like, BDSM torture,
Yeah.
like, smut is, like, a big deal.
I feel like 50 Shades of Grey really opened the door for it, but, like, why even leading up to 50 Shades? I feel like that's really the first big I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but the first one I
No,
remember being, like, really big.
that's the first one I remember being really big, but
Mhm.
there was, like, a decent break from, like, the time that 50 Shades
Yeah.
was, like, huge to, like, now when all of this romantasy, like, smut
Yeah.
is emerging.
It's interesting because I do think, like, women specifically really enjoy smut in a book, for lack of a better way to say that. It's not something that in the past women have ever been encouraged to talk about or to explore. So I think, I don't know, maybe with just this current wave of like feminism or whatever it is opening up that more for
No, I
us.
was literally getting ready to go in that specific direction,
Yeah.
that I think that it's just, like, a world of women taking back their power, and there are men out there that are, like, reaping the benefits, and they're loving it. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
"I want my wife to read that." I was reading a article actually for, I think, grad school, and it was, like, an actual, like, evidence-based, peer-reviewed, cited study, and
Mhm.
basically it was saying I wish I had the study up for reference, but it was saying that people need to knock it off with the self-help books and read more fiction and, like, fantasy
Yeah.
and smut because it's, like, doing things with our brain and it's lighting up, like, different areas that are, like,
Yeah.
helping with mental health, and I was like, "Oh
I
my
love
god,
that.
my sex books are healing me." The next topic of discussion is what makes smut scenes well-written versus cringeworthy. Let me just read it one more time. "You're big. He just smiled against my lips. You can take me." That's bad. That's
It's
cringy.
it is. It's
If
such a fine line, I think, to go from a really good one to then making it cringy. I think it's really easy to make it cringy and it's a lot harder to make it work.
can you imagine, like, in real life, like, some man that you were gonna sleep with or, like, your husband, whatever, like, I don't and them, like, undoing their pants and, like, whipping themselves out, and then you, like, looking, and then them being like, "You can take it." No! No one's doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think about it sometimes and I'm like in a scene like that. I'm like, it just makes them awkward. It
So,
just changed their dynamic and for the worse, not for the better.
there are some even scenes in SJM's books that are smutty, where it's always a thing that these women have to mention how hung these men are. And it's just,
A
okay,
lot of times though, it's they're thinking it, to be fair. They're not saying it.
and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That's better. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's where SJM gets it, where
Mhm.
most of the time it's like the internal dialogue of the female character who's like watching him get undressed and she's like having the
Yeah.
internal thoughts. Because what woman hasn't had those thoughts?
Yeah. You just don't usually say them out loud.
No, because I think every woman before they sleep with a man are, like, internally thinking, "Okay, what's the situation down here gonna
Yeah.
be?" Men probably think that too. "What's the situation
Yeah.
gonna be down?" Like, there if somebody out there says they don't think about that, they're a liar. I think that saying it out loud and talking about it out loud just draws the line for me. Like, it
I hate a lot, not all, but like sometimes the talking gets weird. Like they
mm,
start saying weird shit to each other. And there's a line there, obviously, but there's a lot of people really pushing it.
listen, talk about weird shit that people are saying. Let's talk about pet names.
Ugh, I fucking hate the pet names.
Okay, so
In Cord This Cruel and Lovely, he calls her Wildcat. But here's the thing, he thinks about cats a lot.
It's weird.
Like, cats are mentioned a lot, and I feel weird about it.
It's weird.
It's
Like,
weird.
anybody who's referring to their romantic partner as, like, wild cat or cat anything, kitty,
Mhm.
kitty cat.
And I just think, too, I hated that. The names get me.
So here-
Wildcat gets me.
You know what else gets me? We were talking a little bit about it before we started the episode. Lover.
If I were with you and Dylan and he just randomly was like, hey, lover, I'm like, take that shit to your bedroom. I can't, literally don't want to hear that. Love.
Love or
Hey, love.
Dylan calls me lovey. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like lover,
Lover. It's the ones where they're trying to be creative. SJM is really good with her. She doesn't push them like darling or sweetheart in Crescent City. Like those are acceptable.
I
Even
agree.
violence in Fourth
Oh,
Way.
That's my
I
favorite.
love that. I love
Well, that one and Sweetheart,
that. Mhm.
specifically out of Hunt Athlar's mouth.
Yeah. See, yeah, anything out of Hunt Athlar's
Mm.
mouth sounds good to me.
Some of these names, we just really got to knock it off.
Please. Like it really, every time I read them, I'm uncomfortable.
Like, I want to know what these authors are like thinking when they're like sitting there at their computer and they're like typing out the story.
But
And
does
they're,
someone call them that, you think?
oh
And
God.
so they want to put it in there?
Or it might be like their fantasy. I don't know, but it's just not, it's not it
And
for
I'm not
me.
trying, again, I'm not trying to shame anybody, but
No,
we don't have to put it all in a book, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Some things can stay in our heads.
I agree.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think that's what that comes down to.
moving on from pet names. So, what makes a sex scene in a book good for you? What are you looking for when you read a sex scene?
It has to be well written. And like, I'm very critical of writing. Not
You
that
are.
I have any right to be. Like, what am I doing? But I'm very critical of writing. And also, it has to have a purpose. I just don't put it there because you needed a couple pages filled. You can tell the difference of when it's driving the plot and when it's necessary versus when you think it's what the readers want.
When I think about like the smut that is good for me, like I think truly the top tier smut that I have read is smut that I can picture myself engaging in.
Okay. That's okay.
That's what does it for me. Like how we were talking in the 5-star episode about how like you have to be able to picture yourself
Yeah.
like in the situation. I need the character development for sure.
Yeah.
And I, as much as I complain about certain characters like in books when they take too long to finally like hook up and get together, like the only reason I hate it is because I love it so much. Like I do
Yeah.
really like that banter. And so I think that's like where This Cruel and Lovely didn't hit for me was like there was no like sexual buildup. Like it was
Mhm.
just like all of a sudden like there were feelings.
I do remember the first time he like thought about her ass was surprising.
And he was just like, I think she was like separated from him at that point for a little bit. And he was just like, oh, I miss her ass like bouncing up and down on that horse. And it's
Yeah.
where did that
And that
come
was
from?
that really was abrupt. It was like the first mention of any sort of feelings that weren't negative about each other. But I do feel like, in my opinion, there was more after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
I
But
know.
I'm glad that you can just accept that I don't. What is your like top tier smut scene so far that you've ever read?
I don't know if I could pick just one though.
Come on, there's got to be one.
No, because I would say SJM does them so well that there's okay, actually that's a lie. In what is it, Frost and Starlight?
Oh, dude. I'm so glad you brought this up. So not
love
only, and I'm not going to say what characters they are for people who like haven't read the ACOTAR series. I don't want to spoil. But the two characters that have sex in this book, they not only have sex on the outside, but they also have sex in their minds.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. That was my top tier scene until the gym scene between Hunt
Mhm.
and the person he's hooking up with that I referenced in the last episode, that
Yeah.
one had me chewing my lip. Like,
Yeah, we
I
know.
was in it.
We fucking know.
I think that's how I know that I'm, like, loving smut in a book, is if
Yeah.
I am, like, giggling and I'm biting my lip.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
And
fair.
let me tell you, when we say things like, "You can take me," that ain't having me bite my lip.
No. It's having me, like, wanna flip the page pretty quickly.
Oh god, this is a good one. So, do you think that publishers are more willing to embrace explicit content now than in the past?
Yeah, I think so. I think that goes back to, like, why we were saying, like, these types of books have blown up so much to begin with. Like, it's becoming a norm. So I think they're not as worried about the backlash anymore.
I think that people want it, and now that the
Yeah,
public wants it, they're more willing to produce it
I agree.
and publish it. I think that there's a line, though, when writing explicit content. Like, we've both read Haunting and Hunting Adeline. I think that for me, the line was crossed in Hunting Adeline. I think that honestly, like, Colleen Hoover sometimes toes that line of, I think we referenced it in our last episode,
Too
like,
late.
yeah, like in Too Late,
Mhm.
where he wants to have sex with her and she, like, really doesn't, but she, like, internally admits that, like, she's just gonna do it
So
to
she'll get
appease
leave.
him.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think that's the line for me. I
Yeah.
think when we push sexual assault and depicting that in books.
So from my vast reading and listening to true crime, a lot of assault victims, and I'm not speaking for people, but just in the stories I've heard, don't necessarily even realize some of what has happened is considered assault because it's so not talked about. That there's like this almost, I don't want to call it oblivious because it's not like they're purposefully oblivious, but naivety, I guess,
Yeah,
of women are told, as we are told as kids, be kind, don't be rude, say thank you, no thank you, whatever. We are taught at a very young age to not be rude to people. And so when, people are coming at us in a not consensual way, like we aren't going to respond in a perfect way.
yeah.
We're drilled into us to be kind. And in these situations, like the aggressors tend to take the kindness as like consent and they're two different things.
No, that's
So I
like
think
that's a really good point.
I do think there's fine lines and we have to be careful, but I do think that not talking about it for so long has done a lot of damage to
I
a lot of
agree.
victims. And I think that not nonchalantly putting it in literature, but to thoughtfully bring it into literature that people are reading can only benefit victims that are struggling with how to come out about it or are struggling with how to move on from it and things like that.
I agree. I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we touched on that. I think that's something that's important to bring into perspective.
I just think it's an interesting question and maybe listeners have a different take on it, but do you think there's a difference on how a male and female author writes smut? And the thing is, I have never read a male's version of smut, but I prefer male characters written by women. I'm going to assume that I prefer smut written by women as well.
Yeah, I've never read any smut written by men, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say women know what women want. Like, what gets a woman sexually, like, aroused and interested, I genuinely don't feel like I think there are men out there who do take the time to understand, like, what their partner needs, but I think there is a category of men out there that do not take the time, and, like, they think
Yeah.
that we're playing, like, what's that one mini game in Mario Party we play where we have to, like, shake the controller, like, really aggressively and knock, or no, we have to push the button to knock down all of the
This
stone
took
men
such
or
a weird
whatever.
turn. Like, I did not
Just
expect you to go to Mario Party from
just
this.
wait, just wait, okay?
Okay.
And because it's a joke on TikTok where you have to push the button really fast and it's everybody, like, makes a joke like, "Oh my god, you must spend a lot of time." But what I'm thinking about is, like, the aggressive, like, hard, like, pushing,
Yeah.
and it's just not like I remember I was watching a TV show, and I forget the TV show, but it was a younger man was talking about hooking up with girls, and I think he was probably in college, and he was
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, like, I did some good finger blasting this past weekend, and it's just like, okay, first of all, if you're
Don't call it
referring
that.
to it as finger blasting, like, I promise you that whatever you're giving is
It's not good.
not good.
I hate that.
And I'm not here to hate on men because I think
No.
that both of us are very lucky. I think we have men who like listen to
Yeah.
us and talk to us about what we're interested in, what we're not interested in, and take the time to be gentle. Like, I think that just there's an overall like stigma that like women want
Yeah.
like aggressive. And I think that is like the least accurate because I think women want like soft and
And there's just
gentle.
also, I think even aggressive, like, women see differently than men. Like, I would say some scenes in ACOTAR, or maybe not the first one, but throughout, are more aggressive, but not I don't
I
you
think
know what there's different kinds of aggression,
I
I
think
think.
aggressive like behavior that women want out of smut is, and even like in real time in the bedroom, is more like that I want you and need you right now.
Yes, it's like a need.
It's
Yes,
not the
that's
physical
such a good way.
aggression.
Yeah.
It's like I need you like right now, like you are so beautiful and so sexy to
Yes.
me. I don't need the physical aggressiveness. Like
Yeah.
I don't need
No,
hard
that's
pushing
such a
and
good way to
fast
explain that.
movement. Yeah, so I think that is why I think SJM does so well. I think she
Mhm.
elicits that feeling for me as a reader of, "Oh my god, like, this
Yeah.
character wants her so bad
And, like,
because
credit where
she's
credit is due, Rebecca Yarros also does an amazing job with that.
amazing."
Yeah.
She's really good as
I mean,
well.
I haven't read her other stuff. I know she puts out a regular romance or fiction.
Yeah, I
Um,
read one of her
in
contemporary
between.
romances, and the smut was, like, milder, I would say,
Mhm.
but it was good. Alright, let's play lightning round because that was
Yes.
really fun, and I think I'm just gonna motion to play lightning round or some type of game
Some type of game,
on
yeah.
every podcast, but let's do lightning round again because that
There's
was
some
really
good
fun.
I found some good questions this time too.
Let's start with the book preferences questions.
Yes. And then we'll come back to the smut to round it out because
Okay.
there are smut questions. Okay. Ebook, paperback, or audiobook?
Ebook.
Ebook for me too.
Kindle. Top tier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, annotate or keep it pristine?
Keep it pristine.
So I would say keep it pristine unless it's like a poetry book or a self-help book.
I really want to be one of those girlies with all of the little tabbies
It's
and
not
the
me.
I don't understand what they're tabbing. Like, what are you? Somebody help me. Like, I want to do that, but I don't know what I'm doing.
You know what? We should have one of our book club members who annotates
Yeah.
come on and talk about annotating novels.
Like, I write down quotes I like, but I don't tab them. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe I should just tab what I like.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Okay, we got away from lightning round. Anyway,
Somebody help me.
mm,
Anyway,
you're
love triangle or one true pairing?
I think one true pairing.
That's so hard because I love a good love triangle, but I also like a fated mate. So I don't know.
Okay,
I'm not a lightning round person.
slow burn or instant chemistry?
Slow burn.
Slow burn, I would agree with that as well.
Enemies to lovers or friends to lovers?
Enemies to lovers, true enemies to
Absolutely.
lovers. Like,
Yes.
I fucking hate your guts.
Yeah.
Like, I wish you didn't walk the earth, but then
Yeah.
out of nowhere, it's,
Yeah.
that's what I want.
Like, I want him to hate her and then be like, who the fuck did that to you? That's the vibe I need.
Exactly. Okay, first person or third person POV? First person, I would say for me.
Yeah. I don't think I care. As long as I have different POVs, I don't think I care.
Okay,
Cliffhanger or neatly wrapped up?
cliffhanger.
Unless the next book's already out, that shit better be wrapped up for me. Because I will not. I don't have the patience.
Cliffhanger, always a cliffhanger. I love cliffhangers. Okay, let's do the smut specific ones.
Okay. So fade to black or all the spicy details?
All the spicy details.
Agree if it's right.
If it's right, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, spice level 1 to 5. What's your go-to?
I would read any of them. I don't think I have a go-to.
I would say like a 3.
Yeah.
Like a good in the middle.
Yeah. That's fair. Touch her and die or only one bed?
Touch her and die.
Touch her and die. I do love only one bed, but touch her and die.
Zayden
I literally
Ryerson.
just use that as an example. Yeah.
Zayden Ryerson. Zayden fucking Ryerson.
Who writes the best smut scenes? Drop a name. We've already done that. SJM and Rebecca Yarros.
Exactly.
And I would even still put SJM over her Rebecca Yarros,
I would
even though I
too.
love her shit.
I
But
would too.
yeah,
Okay. Would you rather bad plot / great spice or great plot and bad spice?
great plot and bad spice.
I agree.
It's
I'm not
I
reading
I
for the
have to have the
smut.
plot. Yeah, same.
Okay, so these are just for fun questions. So the first one is
Hmm.
favorite fictional book boyfriend / girlfriend.
Cassian.
Zayden. What about
Zayden's creeping up there, but
girlfriend?
Bryce.
Same.
I love Bryce.
It's so
I want to
hard.
be Bryce.
Zayden and Hunt are close for me.
That's where Zayden's getting there with Cassian.
Okay. What's the last book that made you blush?
Anything with it makes me blush.
For me, it was House of Earth and Blood, or maybe her. Yeah, it was House of Earth and Blood because there's no smut, but there is like
A lot of
tension.
alluding. Yeah.
Actually,
Which the
no.
tension can be just as good.
No, I actually think it was House of Sky and Breath.
Secret bookish pet peeve. I don't really keep anything about books a secret, but I hate typos.
I agree.
Hate them. It's not really secret. I'm very, like I said, I'm a judgmental reader. I don't love that about myself because I have no leg to stand on for it, but I still am.
Yeah. One author you'd love to have dinner with?
That's so hard.
Sarah J. Maas.
That's who I'm thinking just because she's my favorite author right now.
Sarah
And
J. Maas.
Avatar's my favorite. Yeah.
Alex Michaelides, who wrote The Silent Patient. I would love to have dinner with him. First book that made you feel something?
Does that mean like emotionally or feel what?
Like really
I've,
feel something. Honestly, for me, probably The Passion Project by London Sperry. I know that's probably a surprise.
here's the thing with me though. I cry at everything. Everything makes me feel something.
What did you rate A Court This Cruel and Lovely?
I actually, just looking at that, forgot. I want to say I gave it, I think I said 3, but like in my review said 3.5.
I gave it 3 hardbacks.
Yeah.
Oh, I yawned
Because
during that.
I don't consider like halves real, but because Goodreads doesn't, but I still like to mention that like I would have given it a little bit more if the option were there.
Oh no, I would have given it a 2.5 if I was a half-star person.
Yeah, I gave it a 3, and I said if I could, I would do 3.5. The
Mm.
smut brought it down for me because, like I said, I really
Yeah.
like the plot.
I wish there was just had been no smut.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hit these other quotes
Why don't you share your favorite that you've already shared, but it's okay, we can hit it again
one more time.
for the people in the back.
For the people in the back. You're big. He just smiled against my lips. You can take me.
I really like these other 2 quotes. They have nothing to do with smut, but I genuinely just like these ones. Don't survive for anyone else. Survive for yourself. Survive because the thought of not surviving, the thought of letting those who would hurt you win, is so repulsive you can't stand it. Survive because you deserve to survive.
What a nice quote, but also so like irrelevant to this whole episode.
It is, but I still loved it. And the next one, too, is irrelevant to the whole episode. And I still want to shout out good things about the book because I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
The other quote is, you get to believe anything you want. Why would you choose to believe you will fail? I love both of those because both of those are like things I should probably take into my own life. But
I believe
I'm
that
going to leave them in this episode.
there's a quote that you can pull from any book, no matter how shitty it is, that you
Yeah.
could probably relate to.
Yeah.
Okay, before we end, I'm gonna read the steamier moments from A Court This Cruel and Lovely outside of the quote that I've read about, I don't know, 10 times during this episode.
Yeah, go
The
for it.
first one is, my gaze dropped to his toned ass and I swallowed, my mouth suddenly dry.
I blocked that one out. I can't remember that one.
I totally remember that one. That one was when they were in the motel with one bed.
That happened a couple times.
Yeah, it was the first time when he was getting into the bath. And then the next quote is, I want to strip that dress off you and see what I find beneath it.
Also forgot that one until you said that earlier.
Also, what are we finding? We know what we're finding.
Is it a treasure map? I'm confused.
Okay, the last one is, wicked women are my weakness. I don't
Not smutty necessarily, but not good.
I wouldn't describe Priska as wicked.
No, she's, like, actually very nice, and the first time she has to kill somebody, I'm pretty sure she, like, throws up
Yep.
and is, like, upset about it. I would not consider her wicked at all.
No.
So, you picked the wrong girl then, Lorian.
Yeah.
Next week, we're gonna do my favorite book out of the whole ACOTAR series. We're coming back around. Mist and Fury. I didn't even say it. I just assumed you'd know.
I'm so
Mist and
excited
Fury.
to talk about Mist and Fury because it's so well known in the book talk and bookstagram
Mhm.
community, specifically chapter 55. I'm excited to talk about Mist and
And
Fury.
just the whole build up in this book. Like, this is the perfect, it's the total antithesis of what A Court This Cruel and Lovely is.
Absolutely. So
You know what I mean?
I think it's a good follow-up to really dive into
Yeah.
that book because it's so good.
Yeah, I agree.
All
I'm
right.
excited. If you enjoyed today's episode, you can find us on Instagram, on TikTok. We also have our website. The website has everything. So if you just go to itsahardbacklife.com, it's all there.
All of it, which is so
Yeah.
nice. Until next time, everyone, stay cunning, stay brave, and remember you are your own high lady.
Bye.